This is the Dreo Baristamaker milk frother, and in this video I wanted to share with you my experience of what it was like using this. I want to share with you what I liked about it, what could be improved about it, and I also want to compare it to the most reviewed milk frother on Amazon, and I also want to compare it to the Breville milk frother because that's a little bit more similarly priced to this one, so I feel like it'll be a little bit more of a fair comparison. And then I also want to compare this to my Breville at-home espresso maker. That's a little bit more high-end. It's a full counter unit and it has a steam wand with it, so I want to see how that compares to this as well. So let's do it. First of all, operating this device is very simple. You have your milk jug up top here. This attaches to the base of it, and this is how you control your settings. On the left-hand side, you have your milk and your foam settings, so you can choose what kind of milk you're going to be using, and then what kind of foam do you want to achieve, whether it's a cappuccino, latte, cold foam, all that stuff here. And then on the right-hand side is for stirring, so if you want to stir matcha or hot chocolate, you can do that on this side. You can choose the speed you want it to spin at, then you can also choose what temperature you want it to do. So that's how you basically use and operate this, is literally by toggling those settings right there, and it will operate it and do exactly what you want it to. It also comes with this, which is a different tip that goes in, inside of it, and this will achieve a different amount of foam. This one is used more for cappuccinos or for stirring or for cold drinks, just because it provides a little bit more of a foam, versus it also comes with this insertion thing right here, whatever you call it, propeller, and this thing is actually what makes that smooth silky latte foam, which is what I was really excited about. Dude, my glasses are so dirty right now, holy smokes. Okay, these glasses are definitely cleaner. I can see a lot better out of them. Okay, where was I? Comes with two different attachments to make different kind of foam. They are both magnetic and they stick right into the base of this thing to swirl your milk. And it also comes with this little tray when you're not using them, which this tray is also has little magnets in it for you to set them on. All right, now I want to get into what I like about this and what I think could be improved. The first thing that I really enjoy about this product is how simple it is to use. It is very easy. The menu screen is all very clear, and it's a very simple process to actually operate this. I also enjoy how easy it is to clean. I love that this milk pitcher is separated from the actual heating element down here. This makes it extremely nice to wash off. All you have is the lid, the little tin can here, and then your propeller, and you can literally take this out, throw it in the dishwasher, and you'll be fine, or you can hand wash it if you want to. So it's very easy to clean, and you don't have to worry about damaging any electronics on it because that is all right here on the base. I also like on this little pitcher, it has little dash marks to let you know the minimum level, the maximum level of milk, and then different levels to achieve different things. So it has a little dash mark that says latte art. So that is how to achieve the best foam for pouring latte art, is if you get it in that little dash mark there. So it's really nice that it labels that on the inside, so when you're pouring you can quickly see how much to use. Something that's a little bit different about this compared to my nice espresso machine here at home is this one takes longer to heat up and froth my milk. It takes 3.5 minutes. So what I realized I needed to end up doing was start this right away and then take time to grind my coffee beans, make an espresso shot, all that stuff. I did that after I had already started this. That way I had plenty of time to do all that while this was heating up and frothing. So this was just a little bit longer than I was expecting expecting it to take to actually froth and heat my milk. It's only 3.5 minutes though, so it's not that long of time. It was just a little bit different for me compared to my nice machine. Now, one of the biggest downfalls that I experienced with this device is I'm not actually able to select the temperature I want for my latte. There's only one button you click and it says latte, and then you select your milk and you hit go. So you can't actually pick a temperature, and I wish that I could, because I typically like my lattes to be a little bit warmer. I feel like it changes the flavor of the milk a little bit, so I like my lattes around like 145, 155, which is a little bit hotter. And I think this is around maybe 140 or something. And so I don't think that this tastes quite as good as my nice espresso machine. I feel like the flavor is a little bit better to me just because I like that temperature, and it again changes that flavor of the milk a little bit. So I wish I could control that on here, because I bet I would like it a little bit more if I could just control the temperature. Now, besides that though, I feel like this does an excellent job at creating microfoam that is easy to make latte art with. I found this to be very simple. I love that it already comes in the pitcher with the spout on it. It's easy to pour latte art with it. People say that it's a little bit wider of a mouth, so you can't be as technical with your latte art, but I'm personally not a pro at latte art. I'm pretty basic, and I feel like this accomplishes what I needed to, so I was pleased with it, and I really liked the texture of the milk that this created. I feel like it was blended super nicely, and it made a super nice latte. There's a nice level of foam on top, and it's creamy all the way through it, so I feel like it did a really good job at actually making lattes. I also found that it did a great job as well making cappuccinos, making cold foam, all the other stuff as well. It worked fine. There wasn't any issues with it, so I feel like it's a really solid product. Typically when I was using this, I would use whole milk, which created excellent results when it came to the texture and the creaminess of the milk that it achieved. But when I used oat milk with this, I wasn't able to quite get the same texture and results. I even clicked on the oat milk setting, but I think just the oat milk I have isn't that great for latte art. I don't think it breaks down and foams and froths the same way that whole milk does, so I wasn't able to get quite the same creamy texture that I would with whole milk. But I've seen other people online with this same product review it with different brands of oat milk, and they were able to get great latte art with it. So it's probably just the kind of milk that I'm using. I might get a different kind of oat milk to see if it will create a better texture when using this. The reason I have that oat milk specifically is because I like it in cold lattes. I feel like it's a little bit creamier and it tastes really good, but when it comes to hot lattes, I don't think that oat milk is good for it. So that's kind of something I noticed with my experience using it. Now, how does it compare to some of its competitors though? So this is the Zulay milk frother from Amazon. It's the most reviewed product on Amazon that heats your milk and froths it at the same time. And this one is pretty cheap in my opinion. It's more affordable, maybe I should say it like that. So this definitely isn't as expensive as this. This one, I think it was only around like 30 bucks or something at the time of this recording, where this one is priced at $100. So there's a big difference in price here, but this little guy doesn't quite meet expectations for what this does. This just heats up your milk basically and creates like a thick foam on top. It doesn't really do that well when it comes to latte art at all, and it's a pain to clean because the electronics are on the bottom right here, so you have to be careful not to get water down here. The spot right here is a lot smaller than this picture, and it doesn't have a pouring spout or anything like that. It doesn't have interchangeable tips on it, so you only can make thick foam. You can't make micro foam or anything like that. So this didn't do that great of a job when it comes to hot lattes, but it did make decent cold foam. It was very simple to use if you want cold foam for like a iced latte or something like that. So that was pretty easy with this. It did a good job with that, but I wouldn't use it for hot lattes. So this is the Breville warm milk frother, and this is way more comparable to the actual Dreo one. You can see that they look very similar. The one thing I like about this is you can actually control what temperature you want it to be at. So this is what I wish this had, is a little temperature gauge that you can select it. So I really like that it has that. I also like that it has the extra tip right here in the back. That way you don't need like a separate piece like this to just have on your countertop or lose this. I like that it just attaches right to the back of this. That makes it way more convenient in my opinion to grab it. So I like those two functions right there. However, when it came to actually frothing the milk, I feel like the Dreo one performed way better. This one to me made a more thick and almost like a cappuccino style foam. It was really hard to make any latte art with it. It still tasted really good, so the flavor was awesome. I think that's because I was able to achieve the temperature that I desire. So I think this tasted a little bit better than this just because it made the milk flavor change a little bit. But as far as the texture went, I like the Dreo way better. It came out so much smoother and it was way easier to pour, and this one made better latte art, but this one still tasted fine, and it has the removable top right here, which is really easy to clean as well. This one doesn't have a designated line for lattes though, so you just have a minimum line and a maximum line. It doesn't have like a this is the best spot to make latte art. It doesn't have one of those lines, and I wish it did. Probably because it doesn't make good latte art. That's probably why they don't have it on there. But anyways, that is the Breville one. Again, I think this one tastes really good and operates really similarly to this one. They both make great cold foam as well. I feel like all these machines are comparable when they make cold foam, but when you want to get a nice latte, I feel like Dreo is way better. Also, a difference between the Dreo and the Breville one is this Breville one is $160 at the time of this recording, and again, the Dreo is only $100. So this is $60 cheaper than this one. You can just see a clear difference in quality between the latte art in these, and then we're about to try out how they actually taste, so that's pretty average. I think the biggest thing I notice about this is like the bottom of it is very liquidy, and then the top is like a layer of foam, so it's not blended together and it's not mixed well at all. So you just have like a lump of foam on top, and then you have liquid coffee below. That's kind of what it feels like. Then we got the Breville. This one I was not able to pour good latte art. I felt like the foam was too thick. It almost felt more like a cappuccino when it was coming out. It wasn't like micro foam, so it was very challenging. I was not able to pour good latte art with it, but we're gonna see what it tastes like. This has a way better texture than that. I feel like it is more blended, the foam throughout the drink, rather than just like liquid and foam on top. So this one is blended and the texture is a lot better. And honestly, the taste is really good still, even despite not looking pretty. I still feel like it tastes really good. Then we got the Dreo. Now this thing looks beautiful. The latte art is exactly what I was hoping for. There is a nice layer of foam on top. I have a nice heart on it, and now we're gonna see what it tastes like. That is nice. This tastes more creamy than both of these ones. It just has a little bit smoother of a texture. It's a little bit creamier. I think it does a better job at the microfoam. I think the propeller in this really helps to kind of smooth it all out. So this tastes just beautiful. Now, I'm not going to pull out my whole countertop espresso machine over here, but I do want to talk about that in comparison to this, and that to me is just the best. I feel like I love that the most, and it's probably because I have the most experience and comfortability with it. It has a steam wand for me to actually control how much air I'm injecting into my milk. I can feel the temperature of the milk jug when I'm using that and get it to my desired temperature. So I feel like my Latte art looks a lot better with my nice quality countertop espresso machine. I feel like my latte art looks better, the micro foam is better, and it tastes better. So that to me is a winner over top of this, but I still feel like this does a great job for being only $100 and being a lot smaller, where that one takes up obviously a lot more counter space and it's a whole unit and it's way more expensive. But I feel like this is a nice, great alternative to getting nice silky milk. Also, again, this one has the capability of making cold foam, where that espresso machine doesn't have that option on it. So there it is. This is the Dreo milk frother. I feel like this makes great micro foam, and so if you're someone who wants to make latte art, I feel like this is a great kit to start with, to learn and practice with it. I feel like it does a great job at keeping the consistency the same time after time, so then all you have to worry about is like dialing in your skills with actually pouring. So I feel like this does a great job, and this works way better than the other machines that I've tested out when it came to actually making microfoam that you can actually make latte art with. It doesn't just make foam that's just all clumpy and falls out altogether. This is actually smooth and silky, so the texture is way better on this. So there it is. Hopefully this video gave you a little more insight about this product. I'll put a link to it in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.